When you're building a quiz or a self-grading assignment for your students, or any sort of survey using Google Forms, there's different question types that will give you a variety of ways that students can give you an answer. Let's switch over to a Google form and see some of those question types. So here's a quiz that's in the process of being built. It still says blank quiz, but you can click on the title and change it there. And you can add new questions or other things to your quiz using this sidebar of options. If you don't see a sidebar of options and you can't click on the name to change it and things like that, then you're probably in the view mode for your quiz. Look down here in the right corner and you'll see a pencil icon that will get you to this edit mode. So the sidebar has things that you can add. I want to focus on the different options. When you choose the first icon, the plus symbol will add a question. You have a field here where you can type in your question, and then this drop-down menu for the different question types that we're going to look at today. Here's a little side tip. My suggestion for your first question would be for them to put in their name so that you can quickly see who's answering the questions. And you'll notice that the question type changed from a multiple choice to a short answer. That's due to the fact that Google tries to be smart, and they don't always succeed, but sometimes they do, in predicting what type of question matches the actual question that you typed. So here it senses that the best field for a name question would be a short answer, which it is. If you want to delete a question that you've added, once the box is selected, you'll hit delete. If you don't see that delete icon, like I don't see it here, you would click on the question you want to delete and it will show up. So when you're viewing your quiz, you'll see all these white boxes. Those are the different questions, and you can click on any one of those white boxes to get more options. Now let's switch over to the way that the students would view these questions so you can get an idea of the differences between them. I've got a sample question type for all of these options that we'll view. If you hit the little eyeball icon at the top, it goes into preview mode, which means it'll look like it's going to look to the students when they're filling in their answers, and you can even practice filling in the answers to see the process. The first two question types have the students typing an answer, and it can either be a short answer question or a paragraph question. Now, as far as the students' experience, the only difference between those two is the number of words that they can see while they're typing. As far as I know, there's no limit on the number of words that they can type in either field. But theoretically, you would use a short answer question if it's one or a few words. Paragraph, if it's a longer answer. There is going to be a difference in the self-grading feature or the answer key that I'll show you in a different video. If you want a multiple choice question, there are a few options to choose from. I typically go with the multiple choice option where you can type in a variety of choices for them, and there's a little circle icon beside each one, which is a visual cue that it's a multiple choice question. On a multiple choice question, the students can only mark one of these choices at a time. On the other hand, a checkbox question is also a multiple choice question, but the visual cue of the box here indicates that they can select more than one choice at a time. A drop-down question is essentially a multiple choice question, but they can't see all of the answer choices until they click the drop-down arrow button. A file upload question I wouldn't use very often on an assignment, but it could be useful if you have a survey where people are submitting pictures or something like that, where they have a chance to add a file. You can limit it to a certain type of file, depending on what you're wanting them to upload. I don't use that one very often, but it is an option. A linear scale question gives them a range of numbers to choose from. The default is to choose from 1 through 5, but you can make it 1 through 10, and I'll show you in a minute, but you can add a label to the lowest option and the highest option. So maybe if you put that kind of question on an exit ticket, for instance, and ask them to rate their understanding of what you went over today, maybe from totally lost to I've got this. They could rate their confidence level. You can have multiple choice sections that look a little bit different than what they look like on a test, but they have the same effect. One of the options is called a multiple choice grid, where you'll have, I'll show you the edit view in a second, but you're able to add questions and then choices. Here I have 3 questions and 3 choices, but they don't have to be the same number. You can have multiple questions, and sometimes I use this for a true false, so there's just 2 choices but a bunch of questions, and they go through and mark true false for all of them. If it says multiple choice grid, they can only mark 1 option in each row. If it's a checkbox grid, they can mark more than 1 option at the same time in a row. And then the last 2 question types I have never used, but I'll show you what they are. A date question would be one where the answer is a date, an exact date. Maybe that might be helpful for a history class or something like that. And then a time question, the only kind of answer that it will accept is a time. Again, I don't use those very often on assignments or quizzes. All right, let's go back to the view mode, and I'll just show you a couple more options on some of those. For the linear scale, again, if you click on any of these boxes for questions that you've made, you get more options. You can change the numbers for the scale, and like I said, you can have a label show up under the highest number and the lowest number. So if it were asking them their confidence level, maybe it's something like I'm totally lost to I've totally got it, something like that. And then let me show you what these multiple choice and checkbox grid questions look like when you're editing. The rows I usually use for the question I'm asking, and then the columns would be their answer choices. So again, for true false, it would just have 2 columns, true and false. But then if it's a more typical kind of multiple choice grid, you'd have multiple columns. And the checkbox grid looks the same. You have rows, which will be your questions, and columns, which will be your choices. So that's what the different question types are for your Google quizzes or self-grading assignments.